Have you ever thought about running for elective office? You have compassion for the unfortunate, and a sense of justice. You have a passion for politics, and want to be a part of the solution, and not a part of the problem. You are familiar with the issues that matter, and you believe that you could do a better job. So, what is stopping you? Why not toss your hat in the race, and run? Have you ever thought about what it might be like as a political candidate? What challenges and obstacles that you might confront, especially as a novice in your first try at electoral politics? Then, this is your chance. Are you ready for some action? Pop quiz, hot shot. In this role-play simulation, you are a congressional candidate, and the putative frontrunner seeking a party nomination. Unfortunately, even if you win the nomination, it is the minority party, and bookies wouldn't lay odds on you picking up the seat. Still, at least you can find some sense of validation in having an opportunity to advocate for issues, advance some novel positions, and add the title former congressional candidate to your professional resume. But, one day, just before the deadline to enter the nomination convention, you receive a lucrative job offer from a federal agency, but it is a federal job for which you had never applied. Is there a problem? Let's consider the pros and cons. The job offers a more competitive salary than you had been making before. And in this case, it is a job offer that thousands would accept, a position with a national security intelligence agency. A bird in hand is worth two in the bush, and the odds are well stacked against your ever becoming an elected legislator in Congress. Decision time: take the job offer now, while it is being offered, or decline. Up or down, vote, future congressman. Why can't you do both? Run for Congress and take the lucrative job. A win-win. Well, unfortunately, future congressman, there is a little problem under the law, specifically the Hatch Act, which prohibits a federal employee from running for the nomination or as a candidate for election to a partisan political office. So, what is your decision, future congressman? Let's make a deal. Door number 1 or door number 2? A sure thing, or a long shot? It sounds like an easy bet. Well, most people are familiar with the phrase that, if it sounds too good to be true, then it probably is, and at least some experienced politicians will tell you that if you are ever invited a poker game and don't know who the sucker is, it is probably you. If you are running for office, especially running for an office like Congress, most people are going to expect that you have some familiarity with the laws you are going to Washington to legislate, and, if you were not even aware of the Hatch Act, then you may want to bone up on the law before you toss your hat into an election race. And, future congressman, even if you managed to discern that legal problem that complicated your choices with a rather difficult moral dilemma, there is still yet another significant question of legality that must be considered. The illegal gratuity statute, 18 U.S.C. section 201, c.1, makes it a crime to directly or indirectly give anything of value to any public official for or because of any official act performed or to be performed by such public official, and, as a part of the federal crime of bribery, it is equally illegal to accept an illegal gratuity, future congressman. As a candidate for Congress, do you believe that you are a public official? Most laws say that you are. If you decide to withdraw from the congressional race to accept that lucrative job, would that be an official act? Do you expect to see a news headline when any frontrunner drops out of a race? So, future congressman, you know how they say to beware of low-hanging fruit. It's like a law. Running for Congress is national politics, and is definitely a long way from the little leagues. No more swimming with the minnow, future congressman, because now you are in the shark tank, swimming with the sharks, and playing in the major leagues. Do you still think you would have taken that job, or would you have let it ride, perhaps betting on a higher payoff in a long-shot race, playing the hard eights? Do you still even want to run for Congress, or is that a hardball sport a little out of your league? Did you catch the problem with the Hatch Act, future congressman? Did you see the problem with the bribe? If you were able to readily identify these potential problems, before moving on to the next lesson, take some time to consider this. As a rational person, you would have considered the pros and cons of taking the job offer, and, hopefully, made your decision based upon this reasoned approach. And, one would expect the offer on the other end to have also gone through a similar process. So, future congressman, why would any rational actor offer you a great deal to get out of a political race in which the odds had heavily weighed against you winning, at all? There may be something more at stake than you had considered when examining political gamesmanship as a novice. It's not as easy as you thought. Welcome to the majors. You may have had what it takes to get in, but do you have what it takes to stay? In elections, there are winners and losers. So, ask yourself, which one are you? When being considered for positions of trust, such as those for which a personal security clearance is granted, a frequently expressed concern is whether the individual is subject to or vulnerable to undue influence. If you had been willing to accept an illegal gratuity, and look the other way regarding any criminal conduct, could an adversary use that in the future as leverage against you? Does that adversely affect your integrity and trustworthiness? It only takes 1 minute to be administered the oath of office for Congress, but it only takes 1 fraction of a second, in indiscretion, to break it. How much integrity are you willing to sacrifice to get what you want? How much do you really want to win?
This message was approved by Major Mike Webb. Honest.